India makes its contributions to the world felt in many, many ways. So, very objectively, we think we are a deserving candidate. This is not just about India. All of Latin America is not represented in the UN Security Council. All of Africa is not represented in the UN Security Council. UN's credibility actually has come under challenge because it doesn't command the representation which makes it as credible as it should. India is today the most populous country in the world. It's the fifth largest economy. It makes its contributions to the world felt in many, many ways. So, very objectively, we think we are a deserving candidate. But I also want you to understand, this is not just about India. All of Latin America is not represented in the UN Security Council. All of Africa is not represented in the UN Security Council. The UN Security Council was decided in the 1940s, which was 80 years ago. And the world, surely nobody can deny that, has changed in those 80 years. So the point we make is it's honest for the UN members to sit down and evaluate their system and decide what they wish to keep, what they wish to change, which parts of it are working well, which parts of it are not. And it's like you would do, we have both worked in a company, you would audit a company, after all you audit a government. And if in 5 years in an election, actually people pass verdict on a government, surely after 80 years, the world is entitled to pass a verdict on the UN. And say, okay, the UN is working, it's not working, it needs improvement. So, and my sense is that sentiment is growing with time. And recent events, if anything, have underlined that the UN's credibility actually has come under challenge because it doesn't command the representation which makes it as credible as it should. On the Quad issue, there's a lot of polemic, there's a lot of propaganda, there's a lot of this fantasy politics writing about Quad. Here's the bottom line. The Quad is 4 countries who are, in a sense you can say, in 4 corners of the Indo-Pacific, who happen to be, as I said, political democracies, market economies, pluralistic societies, who feel today that the 4 of them working together on global issues make for a better world. Now, it's often the whole Quad, not accidentally, is dumbed down to a China issue. I think it doesn't do justice to these 4 countries. They have a life and a personality beyond China. I mean, you cannot say the US, Japan, India, and Australia exist because there's a China problem. Each one of them has their own identity, their own interests. They see benefits in working together. And I think it's a completely reasonable proposition.